This is my Week 16 NBA Power Rankings. Let's get started. So with our injuries here, we got a lot of people that are actually coming back this week. Jakob Poeltl's going to come back for the Raptors. The Hawks, they got Daniel Hunter back. Clint Capella is also going to be out for a week. The Sixers obviously have Joel Embiid going to be out for at least 6 to 8 weeks. They said he might be back just a little bit before the playoffs. Pistons got Cade Cunningham back. They did lose Isaiah Stewart for 2 weeks, so until probably after the All-Star break. The Nuggets got Julian Strawther back, but they just sent him down to the G League anyways, so it doesn't really make a difference there. Clippers got Ibaka Zubac back. Warriors got Moses Moody back. The Knicks, we got Quentin Grimes going to be out for a week. The Lakers got Jared Vanderbilt going to be out for like 3 to 4 weeks. Grizzlies did get Derrick Rose back. The Cavs got Darius Garland back, and then the Bulls, Zach LaVine was already injured, but now he's going to be out for the entire season. So yeah, at number 30 here, we are going to have the Charlotte Hornets. They went 0-4 this week on an 8-game losing streak. Then what I'm going to be highlighting here is a couple last-minute targets that people that these teams could be looking for, and I took these from Bleacher Report. So these are not my own. They're not my own targets. They're Bleacher Report's targets here. So they got the Hornets trying to get a guy like Terrence Mann or DeAndre Hunter for Gordon Hayward. At number 29, I got the Detroit Pistons, who went 0-3 on the week, are 6-43 overall. Very, very bad record right now. They actually want them to go after like a really, like a solid star player like Mikal Bridges, Keldon Johnson, or Zach LaVine. And they got plenty of different players they could try to give up that maybe those teams would be interested in. And I do think they got a couple of first-round picks that they could give up if they really wanted to. But I don't really understand the logic there for the Pistons because, getting a guy like Mikal Bridges is not automatically going to make you guys a good team next year. But I kind of understand the logic because you do have a lot of good young players. So if you can try to package a lot of your old veteran guys right now, and maybe get a good star player, it could be a good idea. I'm just not doing any trade that you have to give up first round picks for. At number 28, you got the San Antonio Spurs, who are 10-40, went 0-3 on the week. They want them to get a good backup point guard here like Tyus Jones or Monte Morris, or go out and get DeJounte Murray back. DeJounte Murray's been in the talks to be traded to the Spurs for, like a month or two by now. So I think that'd be a good option for him to go back there. But I don't know if they really have the assets to make that work without giving up first-round picks, which I don't know if I would want to do that. Number 27, you got the Washington Wizards, who are 9-40, went 0-3 on the week. I don't understand them. They want them to go get a guy like Killian Hayes or Alexis Pokusevski. I don't know. I don't understand the thought process there. It's basically because, you can give up some guys right now for, I guess, younger dudes with some potential. So I guess it's a better option, but I'm definitely not wanting a Killian Hayes on my team because I don't think he's going to be, in the league in 3 years because that guy just sucks at basketball. Number 26, we got the Memphis Grizzlies moving down a couple spots. They're 0-3 on the week, 18-32 overall. They lost by 40 points to the Boston Celtics when they had 8 total players healthy, counting 3 guys on 10-day contracts and 2 guys on 2-way deals. So that was a very pathetic game. They had practically nobody that was on their original roster at the beginning of the season actually play in that game. They wanted them to go out and get a guy like maybe Jalen Williams or Jonathan Isaac, who I think could be like a solid piece to their team next season. Number 25, got the Toronto Raptors, are 17-33, went 1-3 on the week. They want them to go get a guy like maybe Naz Reid, Kevin Huerter, or Jalen Green, because they do got Bruce Brown that they could trade and try to get a piece that could be solid for them next season. So I think going, giving Bruce Brown to like the Rockets for Jalen Green, I don't know if the Rockets would really want to do that, but you can certainly look for some offers out there by giving away Bruce Brown. Number 24, you got the Portland Trailblazers, who are 15-35, 1-2 on the week. They played the Nuggets twice this week, I believe, and only lost by 12-9, so they played them pretty close. But they got them getting guys like Anthony Black or Naz Reid because they certainly have the pieces to go out and trade for a nice young player that could be really good for them in the future. I think Naz Reid would be a really good fit for this team if you give away like Jeremy Grant. Because the Timberwolves, I don't really think they really want to trade Naz Reid, but if they can get a guy like Jeremy Grant, then they might be willing to do so. Number 23, Chicago Bulls being 23 and 27, 1 and 2 on the week. They did not really have much like main targets for the Bulls. Just they had a bunch of like young players on there, and obviously picks because you have so many dudes that you could look to trade if you're the Bulls. But no, I'm not sure if any of these deals are going to happen, especially with Zach LaVine being injured for the rest of this season. Any team that trades for him now is just going to ultimately need him for next season, so they might as well just wait till the off season to trade for him. At number 22, you got the Brooklyn Nets, who are 20 and 29, 1 and 2 on the week. They beat the 76ers, but of course the 76ers were without Joel Embiid. Then they lost to the Suns and the Warriors. They got to get in. They got them going for like a really good star guard to pair with their team right now. They like a Trae Young or DeJounte Murray, get a younger guy like Jalen Green or a guy like Zach LaVine. I think any of these guys paired next to the core that they have right now could be really, really good for them. I'm just not exactly sure what the package is going to look like to be able to acquire any of these guys because I don't want to give up, any of your younger players. I don't want to give up Cam Thomas, certainly not Mikal Bridges, definitely not Nick Claxton. And probably not Cam Johnson either. I'd gladly give up Ben Simmons, and then like Spencer Dinwiddie and some of these guys down here, and maybe a couple of picks if you needed to get some of these guys on your team. Number 21, got the Houston Rockets, who are 23 and 26, went 1 and 2 on the week. For the Rockets this week, they lost to the Pelicans, they beat the Raptors, and lost to the Timberwolves. So they lost to two pretty good teams. They also made a small move this week, traded Victor Oladipo for Steven Adams. Not that either one of those players has even played a game yet this season, but I think that definitely helps them out next season as long as Steven Adams can be, what he's been like in the past. He can be a really good backup center for them next season. Number 20 here, we're going to have the Utah Jazz, who are 25 and 26, who went 1 and 2 on the week. They've been doing pretty solid. Staying there around 500. They're probably going to have some big decisions to make here at the deadline, whether they want to be sellers or they want to try to be buyers to make them, be a contending playoff team next season. You got guys like DeJounte Murray you could try to get into your team, or a guy like Patrick Williams or Moses Moody even. Definitely some guys that could make you guys a really good team for the future. Number 19, we're going to have the Golden State Warriors, who went 3 and 1 on the week. So a pretty good week for them at 22 and 25. They only lost to the Hawks this week, I believe, by they lost to the Clippers this week. They beat the Lakers and Suns and lost to the hold up. That's the wrong team. Yeah, they lost to the Hawks, beat the Sixers, Grizzlies, and Nets. Okay, yeah. So, it's a pretty solid week for them. They obviously need to go out and try to get somebody on this team. They said like a Wendell Carter might be a good option for them. Definitely DeJounte Murray could be a good fit for them, but I don't exactly know where he fits into this rotation if you still have Stephen Curry, Chris Paul, and Klay Thompson on your team. So you might have to trade away maybe Klay Thompson or something to get DeJounte Murray, but maybe if you trade away Klay Thompson, you can get DeJounte Murray and like a Clint Capella onto this team. Number 18 here, we're going to have the Atlanta Hawks, who are 3 and 1 on the week, 22 and 18 overall. So the Hawks are the team that beat the Lakers and the Suns and the Warriors, and then had a 5-point loss to the Clippers. They played really good this week, beat the Warriors, so they got to go ahead of them at least. They have them going out and try to get a guy like Lou Dort, potentially, or Anthony Black, Quentin Grimes. So the idea for Lou Dort is basically trade Clint Capella to the Thunder and get a guy like Lou Dort back, or you can trade DeJounte Murray to a team like the Knicks or the Magic and go out and try to get one of their younger guards there in return for that. Number 17 for the Magic, they're 27 and 23, 3 and 0 on the week. So sitting here, they beat the Spurs, Timberwolves, and Pistons this week. So they played two bad teams and got wins. Then they got a really good win against the Timberwolves team. And their targets here are going out and get you a star guard for this team, like Anthony Simons, DeJounte Murray, or Malcolm Brogdon type dude. I think any of those guys are upgrades over um, Cole Anthony and Markel Fultz right now, but obviously you're going to trade one of those guys, probably Markel Fultz. I mean, keep Cole Anthony on the team. Probably trade Markel Fultz packaged with one of these other guys down there to be able to get one of these point guards on your roster. But I think it's a really good. I think those are all really good fits for this team. Probably not Malcolm Brogdon because he has no real star potential like for your future, but he's not a bad option. Number 16, you got the Philadelphia 76ers who are 30-19, 1-3 on the week. Obviously losing, their MVP candidate Joel Embiid for the next 6 to 8 weeks that's a big reason why they're going to move down to 8 spots because this team without Joel Embiid, certainly not a top 10 team in the league in my opinion. Tyrese Maxey, can do his job carrying you guys to some wins, but he's not going to be, doing that every single night. So you guys are definitely going to be probably being here around 500 record without Joel Embiid in the lineup, which isn't horrible because as long as you guys can stay at the top 4 to 6 seeds, stay above the play-in, and once Joel Embiid comes back to the playoffs, you guys can make some noise. But you got targets here to go get a guy like a center or like Clay Olynyk or Andre Drummond to replace Joel Embiid right now, because right now your backup center minutes are going to Paul Reed and Mo Bamba, so Olynyk and Drummond would be upgrades over that. Or you can go out and get a guy like Bruce Brown or Gordon Hayward and start looking more to the playoffs because those guys would be very beneficial for you in the playoffs. Number 15, we do got the Miami Heat, who are 26-24 with 2-1 on the week. They played pretty solid this week. They had a 7-game losing streak coming into the week, so being able to get a win here is good. They beat the Kings and the Wizards and lost to the Clippers, so a pretty good week for them. They want them to go and get a solid wing or forward to be able to give them some good shooting. Which here they got like Simone Fontecchio. I don't know if I said that right. Probably not. Santi Aldama or Sadiq Bey. And you don't have to really give up a whole lot to get either one of those guys. So I think those are all pretty solid options for your team. Number 14 is going to be the Dallas Mavericks, who are 27-23, went 1-2 on the week. Lost to the Timberwolves by a lot. Got destroyed by the Bucks too. And then they beat the Sixers without Joel Embiid. It's not the best week there. That's why they're going to move down 1 spot, only be number 14 on the list. Still a really solid team. They want them to go get a really solid wing, like a Jeremy Grant, Bruce Brown, or Kyle Kuzma, and they certainly have assets to do so. Jaden Hardy's a good asset. Olivier Max Prosper's a good asset, and they got some money with Markieff and Rashawn Holmes to match the money there. And I do think they got some first-round picks they could trade as well. So it's not going to be too difficult to get either one of those guys onto their roster, I think. So I think they should definitely go try to make a push for really any one of these guys. Number 13, you got the Indiana Pacers, who are 28-23. They went 1-3 on the week. Lost to the Celtics by 5, the Knicks by 4, the Kings by 11, and then beat the Hornets by 16. So they had 3 pretty close losses to some really good teams. So it's not horrible. They are going to only drop about 3 spots here in our rankings. They want them to go get a good forward, a good 3-and-D type forward with Royce O'Neal, Dorian Finney-Smith, or Jeremy Grant. And they only got to trade like Jordan Nwora, Jalen Smith, or TJ McConnell in this deal, which isn't bad because Jalen Smith is a really solid player. He doesn't really play for you guys right now because he's your 3rd best center. So trying to get him flipped for some other area of need for your team would be really, really good. Number 12, here we are going to have the Los Angeles Lakers, who are 27-25. They went 3-1 on the week. They lost to the Hawks by 16. Then they ended up beating the Celtics without LeBron and Anthony Davis. So that was good to see there. They beat the Knicks by 8 and beat the Hornets by 6. They did get Jared Vanderbilt injured for 3 to 4 weeks. So that's going to hurt him a little bit, but he's not been playing great this year anyways. They got their targets here, like DeJounte Murray, Bojan Bogdanovic, or Cameron Johnson. I don't really think they're going to get any one of these dudes because I honestly don't think their packages that they have to offer are really that great. They would probably give up D'Lo for a DeJounte Murray deal, but if you're doing that, I don't even know if that's really worth it at this point. And then Bojan or Cameron Johnson, I still really don't think any of these assets down here are going to be able to get you those guys, and I don't think you're giving up any other really good player to your team to try to get one of those guys in, and you hardly have any first-round picks available, so your options are going to be pretty limited if you're the Lakers. Number 11, you got the Sacramento Kings. So our 29-20, went 2-2 on the week, lost to the Heat by 9, lost to the Cavaliers by 26, and then they ended up beating the Pacers by 9 and the Bulls by 8. So that's a decent week. They want them to go get a really solid guard like Alex Caruso or a good forward wing with Dorian Finney-Smith or Kyle Kuzma, and they got some good dudes. They like Davion Mitchell, Sasha Vesnikov, Chris Duarte, and they got some picks. I think any of these guys would be a really good piece for your team, and you don't have to give a pick for Dorian Finney-Smith, so that might be the ideal option. But if you're going trying to get a more impactful player, you might have to give a first-round pick or two to get a guy like Alex Caruso or even Kyle Kuzma. Number 10, we are going to have the Milwaukee Bucks, who are 33-17, 1-2 on the week. I believe they have like a 1-3 record or something since Doc Rivers took over. So he has not been looking great, I guess, or at least like I think something like that. He has not been looking the best coach right now, and he already apparently is going to be the Eastern Conference All-Star coach, which does not make a whole lot of sense to me. But it's because he has that name power and stuff, so he's gonna get that nod, I guess. But they lost to the Blazers this week by 3, lost to the Jazz by 15, and beat the Mavs by 12. So definitely not the best week. They need some help with their depth. Go and get like a good solid backup point guard like Javon Carter or DeLon Wright, or get a good wing like DeAndre Hunter. And you got a couple of dudes on here that aren't going to have much trade value, but you could still probably get some of these guys because your targets here don't have a lot of trade value either. Number 9 is going to be the New York Knicks, who are 32-18, went 2-1 on the week. They had a 9-game winning streak, and they ended up losing to the Los Angeles Lakers. They want the Knicks to go get a star, like Mikal Bridges or DeJounte Murray, or get like a really good piece like Malcolm Brogdon, who could fill in the Emmanuel Quickley role. And they definitely got the contract money to match it here, and then they got plenty of draft capital, I believe, to be able to make any one of these trades really work. So I think they should definitely try to be aggressive here. I'm just not exactly sure how aggressive they should try to be right now because I feel like they might just want to save and be more aggressive in the off season because I don't think getting a guy like Mikal Bridges is going to make you a title contender this season, but certainly could make you guys a title contender for next season. So it might still be worth it to jump on the deal right now. Number 8 is going to be the Phoenix Suns, who are 29-21, went 2-1 on the week. They're going to jump up 4 spots here this week. They played pretty solid with wins over the Nets and the Wizards, and they only had a 9-point loss to the Hawks. I thought they played pretty solid this week. Their targets here, basically go get a good 4 for your team, like Caleb Martin, Najee Marshall, and Royce O'Neal. You got plenty of low-end rotational pieces that you can trade to try to get a good solid backup for your roster. Number 7, we're going to have the New Orleans Pelicans, who are 29-21. They went 3-0 on the week. They're going to jump up 8 spots here, so it's really good there. Beat the Rockets by 11, the Spurs by 1, and the Raptors by 38. So they played a pretty solid week. They want them to go get a good forward like Jalen Johnson or a good backup center like Wendell Carter or Nicholas Claxton. I think those would be some really, really good additions to your roster, and it's not going to cost you a lot of future pieces. Get a guy like Larry Nance or something, or Jose Alvarado potentially. It's not going to be the worst options for you guys. Number 6 is going to be the Denver Nuggets, who went 2-1 on the week, are 35-16, one of the best teams in the league. Obviously, right? They lost to the Thunder by 5, but then they played the Blazers twice and beat them both times. So, one loss is to a really good team in the Oklahoma City Thunder. You're only going to drop about 1 spot here, and they want them to go get a good, solid backup center, like a Dario Saric or Xavier Tillman, because right now their backup centers like Zeke Naji and DeAndre Jordan, who are just not great right now at this point in their career. So, potentially giving up younger guys here, or give up a Zeke Naji to go get a really good, solid backup center could be a really good addition to your roster. Number 5, we're going to have the Minnesota Timberwolves, who are 35-15, went 2-1 on the week. They beat the Mavs by 34. Beat the Rockets by 21, had a 2-point loss to the Magic. You definitely would have liked to see them beat the Magic, but at least it was close. So it's not going to hurt them too much here. Just going to drop to 1 spot. They want them to get a good backup guard here, like Tyus Jones, Malcolm Brogdon, or maybe a guy like Alec Burks. You got a couple young pieces here. Jordan McLaughlin, Wendell Moore Jr., and then Shake Milton, who you could trade to try to get some of these guys on your roster. So I think Tyus Jones would be my personal pick for you guys to go get. I believe he's been on your roster before, right? And I think he'll probably be one of the cheapest options here. Definitely cheaper than Malcolm Brogdon to go get. And honestly, I think he's better than Alec Burks. So that's definitely who I would like to see you guys go get. Number 4 is going to be the Boston Celtics. You might think this is a little bit low because they still do have the best record in the league. Um, they simply, just because they lost to the Lakers without, LeBron and Anthony Davis by 9 points, I couldn't really move them up or keep them really at the same spot either because, there was a team that, three teams above them went undefeated this week. They just want them to go get a solid rotational piece like Alex Caruso, Najee Marshall, or Aaron Wiggins. Any one of these guys is going to be better than Peyton Pritchard or O'Shea Brissett, who they have down here as their assets right now. So definitely upgrade your rotation there. Could be a good solid addition. Alex Caruso would be amazing on this team, I think. Number 3 is going to be the Oklahoma City Thunder, who went 3-0 on the week, 35-15 overall. They beat them. They beat the Nuggets by 5, the Hornets by 20, and the Raptors by 8. It's a pretty solid week. A good win against one of the best teams in the league in Denver Nuggets. They want them to go get a good solid 4/center here with Caleb Martin, John Collins, or Clint Capella. Any of those guys would be really solid additions to your roster. I personally think you should go for a guy like Clint Capella because he won't be very expensive to get. Just giving up like Trey Mann and Pokasevsky might be able to do enough with Davis Bertans' contract to get you a Clint Capella. So that's who I think you guys should try to be getting here. Number 2 is going to be the Los Angeles Clippers, who are 34-15. They went 4-0 on the week. 16-point win versus the Wizards, 11-point win versus the Pistons, 8-point win versus the Heat, and a 5-point win versus the Hawks. So they played pretty good all week long. They want them to go get a good solid 4/center as well. That has some good 3-point shooting abilities like a PJ Washington, Santi Aldama, or Kelly Olynyk. And they got plenty of dudes on the roster they can look to trade. Bones Highland and Terrence Mann are solid guards, but neither one of them really gets a whole lot of playing time. PJ Tucker gets like 0 playing time and said he already wants out of your team because he's not getting any playing time. And then guys like Brandon Boston and Amir Coffey certainly aren't in your rotation anyway. So definitely got some guys you can look to trade to upgrade your backup 4/center spot to give you some really good needed 3-point shooting there. And the number 1 is going to be the Cleveland Cavaliers still. They've won 6 straight games. I believe they've won 14 of their last 15 games. So the hottest team in the league over the last month or so. So I'm still going to keep them here at number 1. They want them to go get a good solid 4 here, like a Dorian Finney-Smith / Royce O'Neal. Or potentially both those guys. I was thinking maybe Karis LeVert trade for both Dorian Finney-Smith and Royce O'Neal from the Nets would be a really good deal for the Cavs. Or if not, maybe try to go trade some other guys to get a guy like Gary Trent on your roster. But I would like to keep Karis LeVert if you're going to get Gary Trent. And then our top performers here, we got a lot of people on here. Josh Hart had a triple-double. Donovan Mitchell put up a 45 piece. Sabonis had 2 triple-doubles this week. Wemby had a 5-block game with 21 points. Jalen Brunson dropped 40. Porzingis had 5 blocks with 17 and 7. Maxey had a 50 bomb. Trae Young put up 32 and 15. Giannis had 31, 9 assists, 5 steals, and 3 blocks. Sorry, that was Shea. Shea had 31 points, 9 assists, 5 steals, and 3 blocks. So 8 stocks there in that game for him is really good. Jokic had a 20-20 triple-double. Kim Thomas dropped a 40 bomb. Curry dropped a 60 piece. Bradley Beal had 43 points in his return game versus Washington. Brandon Ingram put up 40. De'Aaron Fox put up 40. Giannis had a 48-point, 10 assist, 5 steal game. AD had a nice triple-double there with 26 points. Luka had 40 points, 11 assists, and 1 rebound shy of a triple-double there. So a bunch of great performances throughout the week. And next up here is going to be our award races. So for MVP, we are going to see that Joel Embiid did fall out of the odds because he's going to be, I don't know if he's technically officially ineligible, but I believe if he misses 1 or 2 more games, he's going to be officially ineligible for MVP. and he's supposed to miss like 6 to 8 weeks. So it's going to be unfortunate because he's had a really good season, but he's not going to be able to win the MVP this season. So they got Jokic and Shea at 1 and 2. Giannis is going to jump up here to number 3. Luka at 4, and Kawhi is going to find his way into our top 5 there. I think those top 4 guys are certainly certainly going to be locked into the top 4 come season's end. That 5th spot could bump around between a lot of different guys, in my opinion. Rookie of the year, we got Wemby and Chet at 1 and 2 still. Brandon Miller jumped over Jaime Jaquez for 3, then Jaquez at 4, and then Scoot Henderson staying there at 5. Most improved player, Maxey and Sengun stay at 1 and 2. Kobe White's going to jump into number 3. Jonathan Kuminga is actually going to jump up a couple spots here to number 4. And then Scotty Barnes is going to be there at number 5. 6th man of the year. Actually, shout out to Scotty Barnes. He actually did make the All-Star team this year. Him and Trae Young were the replacements for Joel Embiid and Julius Randle. So I think that was well deserved. Scotty Barnes has been amazing this year. That's what I got to say there. 6th man of the year. Hardaway and Monk stayed at 1 and 2. Norman Powell jumped all the way from number 6 to number 3. And then Jordan Clarkson fell 1 spot to number 4, and Bogdan Bogdanovic dropped 1 spot to number 5. For our clutch player of the year, most of it's the same. Dame, Shea, and Curry stayed at 1, 2, and 3, and then Luka jumped over LeBron to be number 4, while LeBron stays down at number 5. Then our coach of the year, not much change there either. Daignault for OKC, Chris Finch for Minnesota stayed at 1 and 2. Tyronn Lue for the Clippers jumped over Rick Carlisle for the Pacers to number 4. And then J.B. Bickerstaff, I believe, is Cleveland's coach, and he's going to stay at number 5. Defensive Player of the Year, 1, 2, and 3 is going to stay between Rudy Gobert, OG Anunoby, and Chet Holmgren. Jared Allen's going to find his way up a couple spots to number 4. He's been doing really good for the Cavs recently. And then Anthony Davis is going to drop 1 spot down to number 5. So, yeah, that is the video. Thank you for watching. Make sure to check back next week for an updated power rankings list and watch my NFL videos as well.